If it's undercovered, underreported, or a waste of time, you can be sure we'll be heard. Nothing is off limits. Welcome to Broad Street Radio. Welcome to Broad Street Radio. I'm Michael Morris. With me is my good buddy, John E. Cash, Jonathan Meenach, and also with a microphone off screen is Nathan Schoner. I want to go to Nate first. I'd like to check in because he's on fire right away. Well, Nate, how are you doing?
I'm actually doing really well today.
Shit, that's more than he normally says.
Yeah, he does have that face for radio, so.
Yeah, it's even worse for podcasts. You can be a Fetterman back there and you can still do your job.
You know that I control the show, right?
Is there a way you can put Fetterman like behind us? Like the big rock monster?
Like getting ready to hit us with a chair like he's in the WWE?
Yeah, he does look like... In the 90s, they had a group called the Oddities, and there'd be a bunch of like 7-foot guys that were just odd looking. That guy does look like someone that like cleans up after the band leaves. Our topic today is we're going to talk about post-coitus election syndrome. So Jonathan, we had heard about the red wave that was coming. Yeah. And it didn't really come. Can you explain
it turned into
what happened?
It was a sprinkle, right?
Yeah, it became more pink than it was red.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It was a weird night. You know, you got all the momentum with Florida. Like that was pretty huge.
Can I just stop right there and say that was like there was going to be a fight and then there was one guy hit you with a skateboard and just kept hitting you. For Rubio and our boy DeSantis down there, they fucking crushed it. Like I was texting you by 8:00, it was over. I was texting you what Charlie Crist was saying.
Well, the funny thing was when I think I texted you a screenshot. They were leading by, I don't know what, 8 or 9 points each. Yeah. And it was the early mail-in vote. It's like, wow, the Democrats are fucked right now. This is not going to go their way.
But when you saw that, did you think that was going to sustain? I think what we were told was it was going to be all these states that had enough of the Biden administration. Right. They were going to change things.
Yes. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen.
And I think what happened is as it started rolling out, and I was saying to you before we started, it got just past the Midwest and things started to shift and soften.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype for Zeldin in New York to be the governor, which was probably never realistically going to happen, but there was a lot of hype for that. Pennsylvania, they thought Oz was going to clean slate. I mean, who votes for a stroke patient?
Well, let's say a guy that doesn't know.
Nothing against the guy, but like,
no, without the stroke, the guy is a cocksucker. But
I don't know him, so I can't really claim that. But
saying,
maybe he is, maybe he's not.
A very hateful prick. My favorite thing is the guy saying that Oz's products, and I'm not defending Oz. I'm not a Dr. Oz guy. But Fetterman is attacking him that all these products with his name on are made in China. Well, where do you think Carhartt's made, you double dipshit? Everything the guy's wearing to look like the common man is made in China or India.
Yeah.
So he's Mr. Everything.
Well, he does look really funny in a suit, man. Like he does not look like he fits.
I told you, I thought that was a joke. He looked like in Beetlejuice at the end of the waiting room. He's got that monstrous head that looks so small with those big Herman Munster shoulders. And then he's wearing shorts around and it looks like he's standing on 2 toothpicks. Anyway, that guy's a fuck.
He skipped leg day.
But I look at that race and I thought, so here's what I think has happened. In early voting, I think this happened with Biden when he won, is that early voting was so against Trump.
Yes.
That we hate him, all these things that they say about him, and then the laptop story hits. And then it gets buried.
Right.
People have already submitted their ballots, and then after the election, you find out, well, all that is true. In the Fetterman case, I think it was Oz is a monster, and I really think the abortion thing became a hotter topic than we would have thought.
It's possibly, I don't know.
If you look at the people that won and the ones that were kind of toss-ups or close, it was who supported abortion. Because the woman vote, and we'll see when this is all done.
That's accurate, yeah.
I think it motivated them because nothing else mattered to them the economy didn't matter. If you were on Twitter or you're on Facebook and you're looking all
But don't kid yourself. When they go to the grocery store, they're going to be bitching about not being able to find.
Oh, they absolutely
shredded
will.
hash
But they'll be
browns.
leaving the abortion clinic to go buy $7 butter, and they'll be upset about one thing, happy about the other.
Yeah, accurate.
What I'm curious about is, so as these races finish, and it's the Republicans, so essentially we have a split deal here. Let's talk about the economy part.
Nothing's going to get done, just like nothing got done over the last 2 years.
Right.
The amazing thing is, like, when you like reflect on what has happened over the last 2 years. So the Democrats had the White House, they had the Senate in a tiebreaker with Kamala Harris, and then they had the House. Like, why did nothing get done?
Right.
Oh wait, one thing did get done. They waged war against big oil, right? We all know that they did that. And
it's worked out really well.
It's worked out fantastically.
My favorite is where the corporate greed, we're going to go after you.
Yeah, it's all Exxon Mobil, Chevron, BP's. It's all their fault.
So
it's
we're
all
gonna
their
go after
fault.
them, and we're going to tax you on top of that.
You know, Chevron has an effective tax rate of 45%. They pay 45% of their profits in taxes. But what's the right amount? Like, Amazon pays 0, but Chevron pays 45%. But Chevron's the evil people, right?
Well, I think it's funny that you're going to add a tax on top of that. The tax always gets passed on the consumer.
100%.
So it doesn't.
Or better yet, how about this? Who's going to research and develop green energy and green technologies? Oh, wait, it's the people already doing it,
right,
like ExxonMobil and Chevron.
Yeah.
Yet you're going to tax them and take more money away from them that they could funnel into research and development to get us off fossil fuels. I had this conversation with a client. I said, listen, if I'm the CEO of Chevron, the Biden administration comes in and says, hey, in 10 years, we're not going to be drilling oil. I'm not going to continue drilling oil.
Right. Because
now I've got an obsolete product, right? It's not going to make me money.
If you knew you were getting a divorce, you'd start shopping for a girlfriend right away.
And I'd start hiding my freaking money.
Right.
Right? I mean, let's be honest. So, of course they cut production. And the interesting thing is that you and I were talking about this earlier today, that it takes 13 weeks for one oil rig to come back online. Well, they cut 250. And they can only bring them back online within 13 weeks if they have a crew fully staffed to do that. Well, what's the other problem we're having right now? Nobody wants to work.
Right.
Everybody's hiring. So they don't have full crews. It's going to be years before all these oil rigs come back online and are able to actually ease the pain that we're seeing when it comes to paying for gas prices.
Well, let's talk about the gas prices. Yesterday was $3.89 here in Columbus, Ohio. So if you're listening somewhere else, you might be at $5, $6 a gallon. This was with them releasing the strategic reserve,
which we're down to like nothing at this point.
So now we're rolling in, and that was supposed to be a deal, by the way, $3.89.
Yeah.
So what will it be around the holidays and the first of the year? Because here's what this is.
Honestly, I'm not even worried about that. I'm worried about summer next year because that's usually when gas prices start spiking.
Travel
season.
I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see $4, $4.25 a gallon again.
Probably.
And what choice do you have?
Right.
Because here's the after.
You could go, well, listen, first of all, you can put down the shovel and stop digging coal and learn the code, man. And then you can go buy an $80,000 Tesla.
Here's my favorite thing that Biden said. This is not so much. Listen, Biden isn't doing anything. He is the puppet out there.
No,
so I'm not attacking.
It's whoever is.
I'm not attacking him personally because he is not the person he used to be.
Right.
I don't think he was very bright, but he was sharp, and he was.
Oh yeah.
You know, the guy knew how to get his point across. Now he's up there like a wax figure, and they're just telling him what to say.
Yeah.
When he said they're shutting down coal across the country, and Pennsylvania people voted Democrat, that's why I was like, you're voting against your own self-interest, because let's say they do that and they shut down that coal plant.
Right.
They should ask Germany about shutting down coal plants and going green, because Germany's opening up coal plants now. And
so it's China. I mean, China's building them faster than anything else. At the end of the day, the one thing that concerns me more than anything, and I don't care how people vote, but the fact that it's we have made it seem like it's our responsibility to solve all of the world's problems. And we are alone responsible for all of the racism in the world. We're alone responsible for all of the pollution, and it's utter bullshit. I mean,
this show accounts for a huge carbon footprint, but
no doubt about it. These lights
this
are just absolutely.
You know, I had Nate literally run these right off a dinosaur's ass, and it's worth it because this 27 minutes we're going to do is going to be perfect.
Yeah. So, I mean, the reality is it's not our responsibility to fix everyone else's problems. And I think that's the one allure that certain Republicans have, is they have that America First agenda or at least ideology. And I think that resonates with a lot of people. That's why you did see some Republicans pick up seats and you know, they're going to they'll take the House, and the Senate will be a coin flip. But
I do have a question.
Yeah.
I want to run by you guys,
Sure.
see what your thoughts are. Do you think because of, because I was wondering this myself, do you think because of all of the press of, oh, we're going to have red waves, this or that, that there was some Republicans or that were going to vote for Republican just not go vote because, hey, you know what, it's going to, you know, what's my vote? Because,
I would say,
you know what I mean?
In this case, because you can't trust elections, I would think that wasn't the case. What I think has happened is you instigated the other side, the blue side, to say, you better get out there because they're doing this. I think you motivated the other side to do so because the election turnouts were not low. Typically in midterms, they wouldn't be as high as they were. What I think is there were two things that were set. Democracy on the ballot was what the Democrats were running on.
Oh, yeah.
And that was all horseshit. Nobody understood that.
So I saw a video, I think it was yesterday, the day before, and it was literally every time Joe Biden said, "This ain't your granddaddy's Republicans. This is new Republicans, and democracy is at risk." It's like, really, man? But they showed him saying that in 2020, 2018, 2016, 2014.
Obama was saying that back in 2004.
They said it back in 2010, 2006. In 1990s, he was saying the same phrase. And the thing I just don't understand is like, they were who we thought they were to bring back an old Denny Green, you know, we let him off the hook. Why do people keep voting for this insanity? Both Republican and Democrat. Like, why?
Well, I'm going to tell you why. So if you want to know how a consumer behaves, get on Twitter and get on Facebook, non-judgmentally, and see what's important to them. The people that believe that the Republican Party was going to outlaw abortion. Again, I'm not for abortion personally. If you have one and you don't tell me, I don't care. Okay. But when you get it to a point where you add, they're going to ban this thing, how many people does that actually apply to?
Right.
So, but for women, you have to do it. So the call was you had to get rid of Trump because of racial divide. If you put people's feelings into the way that they're voting, they're not voting for issues. They're voting for feelings.
Sure.
And the difference between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party is the Republican Party thinks they're having a debate about issues.
And logic.
The Democratic Party is all about how you feel about something.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's accurate.
You know, you go back and you look at the cost of living. So I was looking at a study. If you went back to 2016, the cost of living here, median income to have a decent life would be about $68,000. As of August of this year, it's $93,000 household income.
Holy shit.
Well, because of the cost of everything going up, right?
Yeah.
So that's not inflation. That's a cost of living situation where to live comfortably. If you look, the median average in this state is $32,000. So people are living under that poverty line. What's happened is they got people to go along with the Ukraine nonsense. And then you find out, oh, maybe these guys aren't the good guys, but we've already poured money into it. We've gone into Haiti. We have 156 military bases or 900 military bases in 156 countries.
Yeah.
Spreading democracy and love.
Just dropping freedom like leaflets from the sky, man.
But people don't care about that, right? So they look at it and say, we have to have a common enemy. What I think the sad part is we're running out of common enemies.
Yeah, we are.
Putin is the last guy. Let's say Putin died tomorrow. You got to find, Yes, you're going to move
Now
on
you're
to
going to
another
fight
country.
China.
Yeah.
Right.
So people don't get it when you're putting people in power saying this is the party of love and understanding and all that. That's who's dropping the bombs, baby. You know what I mean?
No doubt
That's
about
the people that are like, we need more of this.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you dropped 28,000 bombs this month.
And I'm not saying that Republican.
Let's give you a Nobel Peace Prize.
Republicans literally were like, we don't have enough tanks. Well, we're not at war. We'll start a war because I love tanks. And then the Democrats get paid by the same group to run in these elections. And they say, we need more war. We got you, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Now we're not even manufacturing weapons. We're just giving money so that you can launder it. Use it. I do want to talk about money because you and I were dying about this last night. Stacey Abrams' campaign had $103 million dumped into it. Beto O'Rourke was $60 million. And I said to you and I said to Nate this morning, you almost had enough to make Avengers Endgame yourself and release it.
How much money did that movie gross, by the way? How many?
Oh, it was $1 billion.
Billions of dollars.
It was $1.4 billion, I think. And then they re-released it again to beat Avatar. But think about that money that went into that. We cannot solve the homeless problem. We can't treat our vets right. We can't get our healthcare system in order.
Right.
But we can put that much money into losing campaigns.
That's the most astounding thing.
Actually, if you believe some of the leftists on Twitter, Elon Musk, if he didn't buy Twitter, could have solved.
Well, yeah, it's
world
all
hunger.
again. It's all his responsibility. It's someone else's responsibility.
Right.
Yeah.
That is the most infuriating thing to me is seeing all the finger pointing of, well, this rich asshole could have dealt with this. Well, yeah, so could you. You could have not lost that election miserably like you have 3 times in a row, Beto. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's done.
Robert Francis.
Yeah.
There's no way he's running again.
He's run for 3 different offices and lost horribly 3 times.
Yeah.
That's got to be a record.
3 strikes, you're out, pal.
That's like losing at
think.
AA, AAA, and then the major leagues. And it's like at that point, they'd be like, this guy's too old. We got to move on. It'll never escape the fact that your name is not what you claim it is.
Right.
Number 2, that you want to take all the guns away from this. Even if you're liberal, you're going, well, you're not going to take my gun, are you? Oh, you're going to take them all? Okay,
No. You can take my neighbors, but don't touch mine. Right.
You know, I think it's one of those things where you say something, you're like, this sounds really good. This would test really good. And then you find out people don't really want that.
No.
What people want is to be able to afford their plastic shit they want to buy on Amazon, gets delivered the next day. They want gas. They want to go on vacations and all that other stuff.
You know, I would have thought that, but the if that were the case, if that's what people really wanted, the election would have went the other way. There would have been a red wave.
I agree.
At least logically. Now, again, I'm using logic, not emotion, so that might be my
But I don't think people think logically. When they would say people have Trump derangement syndrome, I think that is infiltrated them on every level. So when they think Republican, they think of one guy.
Yeah.
So in the 80s, they would have thought of Ronald Reagan and prosperity.
Yeah.
When they think of Trump, every day there's something about Trump on TV, whether he's doing anything or not. There's constantly, there's hearings about it, all that other stuff. All of this is a distraction. I've said so many times on this show. I tell anybody, stop watching the news. It's not the news.
It's not, their job is not to report.
If they accept money from an advertiser, it's entertainment.
Yes.
Speaking of Trump, our family watched Home Alone 2 a few nights ago, and I completely forgot he's got a cameo in that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, hey, former president.
Take everything you know for the last 20 years. If you saw Trump in that movie, would you be like, that guy should be the president?
Well,
he did give the kid directions.
That's true. He was very, very nice.
He was also in Little Rascals. Do you remember that?
Oh,
At
that's
the very
right.
end.
Yeah,
he was on The Fresh Prince.
Him and Whoopi Goldberg, weren't they sitting right next to each other?
Yeah.
Hey,
they were BFFs.
I would ask her, but she's left Twitter.
Well, you know.
Yeah, so
I thought she moved out of the country, didn't she? Did she come back to vote?
The Baldwins, they were all moving to Canada.
Yeah.
I don't think that they ever looked at Canada during the winter and went, this is where I want to be.
Right.
Everything looks like Edmonton in January.
Can you imagine Whoopi Goldberg stepping out into Edmonton? They'd be like fucking Cool Runnings. Sanka, what are you smoking, man?
Bobsled
I'm not
man.
smoking, I'm breathing.
What do you think moving forward, though? Because as we're recording this, Trump hasn't said. He had a big announcement. So why don't you say, because we agree on the same thing, say what you think should happen
What I think should happen is Trump should leave and go away, but raise money for the Republican Party. Do the road shows that he loves to do because he loves to be out front and center. He fills stadiums with thousands and thousands of people. You can't deny any of that, right? I mean, everyone has seen
the guy
pictures.
is mad. If you've ever heard,
He's
him
a freaking
talk,
rock star, right?
Like when you watch those speeches and all that stuff, I won't say that they're all put together really well.
No, God, no.
I don't know how to explain it. He has this thing about, it's almost like he's talking to you in an elevator.
Yes.
Because he's kind of like to the side. There's a huge crowd and he's like, and then this dumbass over, like it's the way we would talk to each other.
Yes.
And I'm like, everyone's laughing and having a good time. If he went on tour with Chappelle, I think that'd be $1 billion ticket.
Oh my
right
God,
there.
yes. That there would not be.
But I don't
a
see
seat available.
So go ahead, but we agree on who should run.
We absolutely should see Ron DeSantis run and pick Tulsi Gabbard as his running mate.
So here's why I agree on that, because you and I have been talking about it before.
Yes.
But I will say, Tulsi Gabbard, if you're watching any of these shows, call me because I don't have a lot going on. Number 2,
he would like to take you out for a steak dinner.
I'd like to take you to the Olive Garden and experience some Italian cuisine. What I'm saying is, you got 2 veterans.
Yeah.
Right? Tulsi, they're both against war.
Exactly.
You have them wanting peace. You want them solving problems in this country.
Yes. Let's take care of home first. Make your own bed and then worry about the rest of the world.
But how do you, so she was a Democrat, so you're not going to get the Democrat vote. But the independents for the
would
first
absolutely
time ever, other than Ross Perot, would have somebody to look at and go, I could see this.
This makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
So if Trump would support these things,
he would be able to raise money for them to fund the campaign. I mean, to me, it would be a lock. I mean, what are the Democrats going to run?
Well, that's my question. So let's go through the people that the Democrats can run.
Well, they can't run Tulsi Gabbard because she's not a Democrat anymore.
Wouldn't it be amazing if she ran on both sides?
Oh my God.
Extra TV time?
That would be amazing.
It would be great if she just kept showing up at everything.
Yeah.
This is a Green Party debate. Doesn't fucking matter. I'm independent. I'm in here. So you have Kamala, Beto, he's got to run. The guy can fundraise like nobody.
Mayor Pete. Do they try to throw Stacey Adams in there? I mean,
I do think Stacey Abrams is jumping in there.
Sorry.
No, it doesn't matter. You only have to get the name right if they win. Okay, that's the rule on this show.
Fair enough.
So Stacey Abrams, Biden, if he's still breathing. Just saying,
you can't run that.
The guy will be 700 years old if he runs again.
Methuselah has a.
You know what they'll do is they'll change the presidential terms and let Obama run again.
Okay, here's another name that I'm going to put on there. I think Michael Obama runs.
Oh yeah,
because why not? Because really, that's like a coach on a football team. If you think about it, everybody's playing the game and you're just running. But if you do that, you have the Clintons behind it. You have Barrack behind her. And they're still helping run the country.
Yeah.
The issue with Trump was he's in there with a bunch of people that he has no idea the connections they already have.
Right.
If it's the same people and it's the same gang that's been there for 100 years, handed down to the next one, here's the playbook. They're all running the same thing. He got in there and goes, tell you what, I'm just going to draw the shit up in the grass. You know what I mean? Like
he absolutely went full
and they were like, you
schoolyard football.
Yes. And he's like,
hey, Lockheed, we don't need any more F-17s.
Tell you what, you run a button hook and everybody else run deep and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And they were like, you can't do that. You're getting impeached. That's why I think the Democrats have to look at it and say, who do they have that could line up against, let's just take DeSantis. There's not one that would beat DeSantis.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Second is Trump. You might have a shot because the other side hates Trump so much. But that's what I'm saying. It's locked in as long as DeSantis doesn't get caught like Andrew Gillum in a hotel room with 2 male prostitutes. Look that up because that's the guy he barely beat. That was an Obama. That was the next Obama.
Yep.
And he probably ended up the same way Obama spends his evenings. But look that up. Before we
laying next to a man? That's
hey, it's Michelle. Your opinion, though, if you had to sum this all up, what you saw? What's like one word to describe what you saw?
Brain dead. I mean,
I would say disheartening.
I'm not disheartened.
Not me personally, but as a country, where it's like you couldn't see the facts. and you voted with how you felt about what could get taken away. So here's what I'm going to say next. And before Christmas time, if they don't codify Roe, which they're never going to do,
right?
They fucking lied to you
100%.
again.
Yeah.
And somebody should step in and go, I can't vote for you because you didn't do it.
But that's not what's going to happen. That's what should happen. They should absolutely look at it and say, you made promises and you didn't keep them. But guess what? You know what they're going to do? They'll be like, yeah, but Trump.
Well, you know why they can't. But think about it. Why can't they? Because the Republicans took a. Right. We can't do it now. Yeah. We could have done it if we would have got us 2 more people.
If we only had a majority like we had for the last 2 years.
And that's why I think they knew what was happening. I will codify it on the day. Oh, shit. You know what, guys? I could have done it a couple days ago. I didn't. Now you push this off for another 2 years.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing is, I don't like any political party, but the Democrats really do bother me a lot because of the hypocrisy that they're talking out of both sides of their mouths. And they act like they care for people, but they don't give a shit. They care about one thing, and that's power.
Right.
Which Republicans could say the same thing. Right.
I think it's a good way to end it. We're in a terrible, terrible mess.
I want to go. Let's get to India, where we have 14 major parties, and anybody can win at any point in time with 20% of the vote.
It'll run right through you. I think that's a good way to end. Our people in India, thanks for listening. This was Broad Street Radio. We'll see you next week.